outlook for fleet modernization or the cash for clunkers legislation in the Senate?
Well, it's so expensive. I want to support it. I think it's great in many ways, but I want to make sure that we figured out how it's going to impact really demand. We got into this trouble by creating some artificial demand for automobiles, and I'm not sure the best way out of it is to create artificial demand, especially when it's so expensive. I'm very nervous about the way that we are spending money. And, I want to be careful about how it's drawn. We're going to hear it on the floor. I know we're going to debate it here in the next month, maybe even within the next few weeks.
The benefits, obviously, environmentally, probably greater than cap and trade in terms of emissions reductions. And Texas has got a pretty prosperous program. They've got very well there.
Yeah, they ran out of money.
No, they still got a full program this year.
Oh, I thought they had to stop because they ran out.
Well, they used it was so well done, so well received. They ran out of the appropriation they had for last year, but they have another appropriation for this year.
Yeah.
But they put a cap on it, which is obviously. Yeah. I'll
be surprised if it doesn't pass. I just don't know how it's going to end up in terms of how much.
Right, you can scope it.
Yeah. And, we want to help those American manufacturers. I'm just not as excited about helping Hyundai and Toyota and Nissan. And unfortunately, the way it's done right now, it's not going to necessarily impact the American manufacturers. In fact, one could make an argument right now with the chaos in the American manufacturing sector. Our consumers going to be more drawn to those foreign makes with the Cash for Clunkers program than they will to Chrysler that's in bankruptcy, GM that's approaching bankruptcy, or Ford, which is not in bankruptcy and is not going to be in bankruptcy, but is being painted with a broad brush right now because everyone's seeing the American manufacturing sector in such chaos and stress. So I worry that we would spend, $2 or $3 or $4 billion pumping up Honda and Toyota, and I'm not really thrilled about that idea. Let them. China's got all of our debt anyway. Let them do it over there.
How about Boeing?
I think Boeing is going to be. This is. I'll be very candid about the Boeing situation. I think that we will save the C-17 line probably this year and probably next year. But people just need to realize they don't need more. Once we start retiring C-5s, which we can do after September, there's a provision in the law that you can't retire C-5s until after September. After we start retiring some of those C-5s, and we will replace some of them with C-17s. But when you get to 300, 320 lift aircraft, it's really hard to make the military buy something they don't need. Once you get to that number, that's really what they need. And so I don't know that we can save that line. With my luck, it'll go out in 12. It would be a bad time for the line to go out. But it is, I think we'll save it for a couple more years. I think that the future for the F-15 is much brighter long term, because even though they're talking about just doing a one-year procurement, multi-year procurement saves us about $1 billion a year. It's the right way to buy those airplanes. We have a shortage of between 200 and 225 aircraft for our carriers. And Gates has said he wants to keep 11 carriers. Well, if we have 11 carriers, we are short that many. And the F-35 is not ready. It's still, the price tag is still 3 times what the F-18 is. So I feel pretty good that we're going to be able to do what we need to do to keep the F-18 going. And to all my friends at Boeing, I say find something to build besides the C-17 in St. Louis. I want us to convert to something else, those jobs at Boeing. So, but I think we'll be fine on both for a couple of years. Anybody else? Okay, well listen, I hope you all know. I hope you all know who it is in my office that deals with the issues that you're concerned about. If you don't, Dan can get a hold of Yana, or you can get a hold of any of my offices, either in St. Louis or Kansas City. Make sure you've got the internal direct line for the staff in Washington that deals with the issues you're concerned about. Because your calls are, we just went over this yesterday, and everyone understands that calls from Missouri are the most important phone calls to return. And if you need information and you need it quickly, I highly recommend you get a hold of my legislative assistants in your issue area. It is amazing how much they know and how quickly they can give you the information you need, or the number you need, or the other contact you need in the federal government. I hope you all feel very comfortable enhancing that relationship with my office, and if there's ever anything I can do, don't hesitate to call on me. Thank you for giving me a few minutes this morning.
Thank you.
It's great.